Welcome to WorldSimSeries and welcome to the Baku Street Circuit for the Porsche Street Cup. And it is round 2 of the season with round 1, the leaders in the Cup Pro class. Mendelis ahead of Khashoggi and O'Brien. And Pro Am, it was Gubrez ahead of Ramach and Sendersky. And then in Cup Am, it was Jofert ahead of Quesalis and Kirkis, your top threes in each of the classes, as they went out of Bathurst and now into Baku, where we are towards the end of the qualifying session. Just 3 minutes to go in this one, and Gubarev's leads on provisional pole by quite a big margin. And that will not help his lap times, and I'm going to guess that is going to be second run over as well. I don't know if he's going to try again. It's Gubarev's ahead of Khashoggi, ahead of Kravchuk, ahead of Mendelis, and we'll see if anybody can find some extra time to improve. And I'm joined, as always, by Lorinas.
Welcome everyone to the second round of the Porsche Street Cup Championship. Second of 6 rounds, as usual, on the WorldSimSeries platform. Qualifying session is still going strong. It's a 10-minute session, and we will have a 30 minutes street race after it is finished. So on a schedule like that, when we have circuits surrounded by walls, it's definitely very important to have a very successful qualifying session. You need to put in a lap because during the race there might be difficulties to overtake the other drivers, and we've seen that already in the Mount Panorama circuit. It was not easy to gain positions, and I think it's gonna get even harder when we go deeper into the season, because the tracks are getting more and more complicated, such as the Baku city circuit. 6 kilometers long, 20 corners in total. We do have a very long straight with a 90 degrees corner after that, so there is a couple of spots here to overtake. I'm not sure if the draft on these Porsche Cup cars is working quite nicely, so that still might not help the long straight with that overtake. But yeah, as said before, you definitely need to put in a nice, good qualifying lap time. And looking at the lap times, pre-qualifying session has seen a 2 minutes, 8 seconds and 3/10 will be a pre-qualifying lap time set by Daniel Spon. We are currently 3/10 short of that record, so that means the drivers still have a little bit of space to improve, but the time is sticking out. Gubarev is speaking with the walls, flirting with them. That's not gonna help, and he is still on a very nice looking lap time, but drivers behind him can improve. Kravchuk back in the pit lane. He's currently third with a lap time of 2 minutes 9.1. Other drivers are still on the track. Matas Mendelis is setting his personal fastest first sector. Khashoggi is not improving as the qualifying session continues, though the time has run out. Look at the map. The drivers are basically in one big line, and there will definitely be drivers who will struggle with a little bit of traffic. I think that might have been track limits for Khashoggi.
He's pulled off, so lap time gone for him. Here comes Gubrev's, not seeing his time at the bottom there, but Mendelis was quick in sector 1. Mendelis out now, so back into the pits. Gubrev's will most likely take pole position here, unless he can improve even more. But he's anyway enough ahead to take pole position unless somebody behind can find something here. But I kind of doubt that, as Gubrevs pulls off. He's not going to improve. And Sendersky, did he improve?
No.
He did improve.
Did he?
That was
okay,
his fastest, but not an improvement of position. Here's Molodan in P8 at the moment. Kovalevsky improves to 5th. So he takes over from Sendersky by a 10th of a second, so not a big difference. Here's Sponen. We, well, wouldn't expect him to be down in 10th. Can he go up the standings? He does, and up into P7. But nobody really able to challenge at the top. Here's Moladan, doesn't really have a draft from anybody in front, but stays tight to the line and goes up to 9th, was down to 12th, as Balavicius into 8th. Moladan 9th, Dotatas 10th, Spawn stays 7th. That's Sarma, still on a lap, and can there be an improvement here? There was an improvement, and yep, up into 13th. So 1 spot gain, but it is Gubarev's on pole position ahead of Kashoni, Kravchuk, Mendelis, Kovalevsky. Kravchuk highest of the Pro-Ams. Spawn is the next Pro-Am in 7th. Balavich is 8th, an Am car. And the next Am, you have to look all the way down to 15th spot. Young down in 15th, Orjunas in 16th, the next few M cars on the grid. But it is Gubarevs and Kashoni front row of the grid for our half-hour race here in Baku. Hoping to see some action here. Next up, we'll be heading to Southern California and the Long Beach Street Circuit. Again, walls super close, and that's how you gain lap time at Long Beach. You've got to use all of the track, get super close to the walls. Well, same here. The closer you get to the walls, the quicker you're going. But the margin of error is not there. You make a mistake, and you're in that wall. So drivers will have to find good pace, but at the same time, a pace which will not send them into the walls. Good thing is, you can touch a few walls and not get too much damage. That's a good thing for the drivers who do make mistakes, but it's still gonna slow you down. 10 seconds until we go green for round 2 of the Porsche Street Cup on World Sim Series. And we're away for a half-hour race to the inside. Gubarevs and holds position down into turn 1. Everybody almost going into single file into turn 1. A bit more action towards the back. Bond losing positions, or maybe not. Still in 7th as it's super tight through the second left-hander, but everybody, somebody spun round, but relatively clean for a start at Baku. That was Young. He was second in the AMs, at least on the grid. We'll see where he is now. That's Gubarevs. He's already pulled out.
Crash,
and now that's the huge crash that we were waiting for. Sendersky into the wall. He was spun round, and more crashing as they crash into the braking zone. Drivers not expecting where others will brake, and well, sometimes just not paying attention where others will brake. And Sendersky now down to 13th, and I think more incidents up ahead, or at least side-by-side action, side-by-side through that chicane. Drivers warming up their tires, don't have the heat in them, and that's Kashoni. He's dropping away from the lead and dropping away quick. Not finding the pace in this early part of the race, but Lavich is up to 5th already in the AM car. Well, he started up in 8th, I believe, and up to 5th now. On track, 3.7 behind the lead pack, but doing a great job in an AM car. Remember, Kravchuk as well doing a great job in a Pro-Am car, beating, for now at least, the championship leader. Oh, into the wall.
That was Kovalevsky.
Yep. And Dotartas in 6th. He's going to try and hold on against Moladan behind him. Now, do they stay flat through this S section? They, well, barely. Getting super close to the wall, but looked like a better exit for Dotartas, and Molodan will not be able to do anything down this straight. Half a second back and actually losing time behind in the slipstream. Kashoni sets the fastest lap of the race, but that's not really valid here, I think, because the cars ahead did maybe just cut the circuit somewhere, because Gubarev's pulled out a massive lead ahead of Kashoni.
Looks like Gubarevs did a 2 minutes 17.8, while Kashoni did a 2 minutes 19.7. And to my surprise, I'm not sure if this is a valid information, but only Kashoni managed to do a clean lap. All the other cars, 24 cars on the grid, have done an invalid lap time, meaning they had to have track limits at one point of the circuit. So real penalty should do its job here this evening. I think you have three possibilities to cut the track. Then you risk to receive a drive-through penalty, and all the drivers except Kashoni are at least one warning for track limits.
Well, some of them had to avoid crashes up in front, so that makes sense. And I think for the race leader as well, it was, if he used it strategically, the track limit, it does make sense for him, as he gained a lot of time. He's out of any sort of slipstream range, so he's calm at the front of the field. But behind him, it's a big battle. Kravchuk losing some time, though. He lost about a 10th through the last corner that they went through. Sendersky in 12th and challenging for 11th now. He was higher up on the starting grid, but involved in that accident in turn 3. So coming on to the back straightaway, I think this turn doesn't have any track limits. That's why everybody's really using it up as they go through the left and then the right. More commitment there, it looked like, from Sendersky, Gubarev's fastest lap of the race. No surprise there.
Oh, Mendeles just set a slightly faster lap time by the looks of it.
And side by side, this is for P11, I believe, as Sendersky goes to the outside over Sarma, but can't get the move done. And now trying something down into turn 2, not gonna happen. A little bit of contact, a little bit of a push, and Sarma I think harder into the wall, but actually gained time from that push. And, well, Sendersky doesn't really have a chance to attack again. He's going to have to wait a pretty long time, unless he can figure out how to make a move here. If he has a very good exit, he might just be able to do it, but looks like it's not enough. So he'll have to wait through most of the rest of the lap before he gets on to the straights, because once you get past this section, you get into the castle section, and that is much, much more tight. Oh, and actually a mistake from Sarma, and still no opportunity to overtake. So drivers back into line, and now they go through the castle section. No overtaking opportunities through here, unless, well, you had a massive overspeed, but clearly these drivers evenly enough matched to where Sendersky can't really do anything. Kashoni already 2.6 ahead. Mendeles got past Kravchuk, but lost a lot of time to the cars ahead. And now 2.3 back from Kashoni. That gives breathing space to Kashoni, who might be able to maybe now kind of focus on Gubarev's in front. For Kravchuk, it doesn't really matter, because he is a Pro-Am car. Closest Pro-Am would be Dotartas, but he's over 5 seconds behind, so not a threat here. And can probably just stay behind Mendeles and stay on his line. Gubarev's fastest lap of the race for him, 2 minutes 8.5, quicker than he was in qualifying. Mendeles, a little bit of rear locking down into turn 1 and loses a bit of time.
Yeah, Gubarevs did a 2 minutes 9.5. I wonder what was is the first lap time of Gubarev's. It was 2 minutes 7, I believe, which was 2 seconds faster than the next car, but it doesn't look really realistic here because it was an invalid lap time, and we've seen drivers doing 2 minutes 8 seconds and 6/10 during qualifying session with lighter cars, so it makes me wonder if that has something to do about track limits, because now as we started the third lap, you can see that the pace of Khashoggi and Gubarev's is, well, it's not on par, but it's really similar.
I think maybe Gubarev's just going down a notch, not taking the risks, which he might need to if there was a battle close behind, but since there's no battle close behind him, he can probably look at being just a little bit more careful. The gap between the front two, well, it increased a lot on lap 1.
Oh, it was 2 minutes 17. It was not 2 minutes 7. Okay.
Oh.
The first lap was 2 minutes 17 and the other guys did 2 minutes 19. It was the start of the race. So he managed to set in a very fast lap time on the opening lap. And as you've said it now, maybe he's just trying to be not to risk here, though he's still the fastest driver on the track.
Yep, 2 minutes 9.2, so just getting into a comfortable pace for him. For Khashoggi, I think the only real threat now is Mendelis. I don't think he's going to catch Gubarev, so it's more about looking to manage the gap behind, but Mendelis not really able to put anything super clean together.
Yep.
So he drops time. He dropped well, half a tenth, not much, but he'd need to start gaining and start gaining soon. We're already 10 minutes into this one, and if he doesn't start gaining time, it's just good. The time's gonna run out for him. Everybody's still within a pack, sort of. We're not seeing too many huge gaps forming. Definitely a gap further down, I think from 21st down to 22nd. But for the rest of the field, almost in a train, down from 5th actually, because from 4th to 1st, they're spread out and they're very much away from the rest of the field. Almost 2 races going on from 5th downward and from 1st downward. Battle behind, somebody trying to go to the inside. That's Sarma, and is he defending? He's defending from Zukas behind.
That was an optimistic move.
Oh, optimistic. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. Ooh, not sure what... I mean, he tried something into the castle section. I thought that was brave, and, well, he tried that at the exit of the castle section. Just not enough patience there, really. To make a move there, you'd have to be so much quicker. You have to have a 2-3 second delta per lap to actually make a real move into there. Clearly, he didn't have that. Though at this 0.6 ahead of Moladan behind. Both of them looking relatively clean on the exit, but Moladan losing a little bit more time again. And Khashoggi, fastest lap of the race by 1,000th of a second faster than Gubarev's. He'd need... He's...
A lot of laps.
He's 3,000 he's 3,000 thousandths behind. So... No, actually he's 2,906. So 2,968 laps later, he would catch up. Would take quite some time. I don't think we've got time for that. Oh, to the inside, Kovalevskis against Balavicius, who is an AM car, so he doesn't really need to fight these guys. And he's doing the smart thing. I think he just saw him coming and decided to get out the way.
Yep, it definitely looked a very easy, a very easy overtake. And look at the gap Kovalevsky has gained straight away. He is 1.2 seconds ahead of Kovalevsky. Now Dautartas is the next car who is very interested with the position of Balavicius, and that's again a fight not for a position in class. Balavicius is a Cup M car driver, and he is currently in the lead of that class. And I don't see anyone very near him out of his battle zone. So yeah, maybe he's just being smart here and driving his own race. Looking at the wind, he doesn't need to make any unnecessary moves, though looks like he is flirting with the walls a little bit more than the other cars. But I think we have a small glitch here, because at one point it looked like the car is within the wall, but it's driving quite comfortably on the racetrack. So just playing his own game. He's currently 6th. The next Cup M class is currently in P14, that's Ojunas. And he's very far away, as Gubarev sets the fastest lap time so far. Nice battle between the two leaders. Actually, Kajoni lost quite a lot of time here on this previous lap time. He did a 2 minute 9.6, and it was an invalid lap time. So marked red on the results board. And this is risky. You can receive a drive-through penalty, which would mean well, a very bad result for your race, because we are almost halfway through this sprint race, the second round of the Porsche Street Cup Championship. So the drivers have to be careful, and maybe that's exactly what Balavicius is doing, just driving his own race.
Yep, I think that's the very smart thing for him to do here. No real point in taking some crazy risks, and he can just keep a calm head. He can win the AM class without too much trouble. I think Dautartas might want to make a move, but more in terms of being safe from the drivers behind. Closest Pro-Am would be Tarchali 9th. And there's a Molodan in between them as Molodan goes to the inside and side-by-side contact into the wall on the exit there. And Tarchali, he'll now be approaching Dautartas. Somebody's got a drive-through.
Lisauskas, it was M. Lisauskas. Yep. Cup Pro M class.
17, but now Tarchali will have a chance to make a move, just 0.2 seconds back in 9th spot. And if he can get a good exit here, if he can have a good slipstream down into turn 1, a little bit of a touch of the wall from somebody behind, but this is a battle. P2 in the Pro-Ams as Tarchali goes to the inside and gets past Dautartas without Dautartas putting up too much of a fight. And actually puts up a fight on the exit. A little bit of contact, rubbing their doors, and to the inside now Dautartas. This is going to be a chance for Tarchali to come back, but Dautartas leaves the inside completely exposed. And well, now I think Tarchali should be able to get the move done quite easily. I don't really see a chance here for Dautartas to come back, but he does around the outside, outbreaks Tarchali, who was on the inside, and Dautartas somehow holds on to the position. Tarchali was almost overtaken by Spawn there as well, so early onto the brakes into turn 3, and well, loses a chance, a very, very good chance to get a position.
And this is a position for the podium places in the Cup Pro M class. Spawn is currently 4th, so this is a battle happening for P2. Kravchuk is running 4th overall, quite safely into the distance. These drivers want to take those 2 remaining spots on the podium to splash some champagne and have a little bit of a joy after the race finishes. But to finish the race on a podium position, you have to make good moves, and that was a really brave late braking by Dautartas, or maybe a little bit too careful for Tarchali. Made a couple of good attempts to try and overtake his rival, but that didn't work out.
It looked to me more like a case of being too careful.
Did he run very wide? Oh, and all the cars. Is this running wide or... Okay, it looks like all the cars are taking places like this. Dautartas back on Molodan.
Oh, and that's not the place you want to make a move here, because this is going to be a chance for Tarchali to get it done, and he's going to get both cars down the straight. Well, we were talking about making smart moves. That was definitely not a smart one for either of them, because Spon has an opportunity here as well. And Dautartas might just about be able to hold on to that position over Spon. And Molodan maybe even not, as Spon goes round the outside. And now under pressure from behind as well. I think that's Senderski going down the inside.
It is.
Doesn't get the move done. But Dautartas from second in class and making a good move on the beginning of the lap, the end of the lap. He tried to make a move in a section where they just lost so much time. Tarchali almost a second in front of this group. So Tarchali gains a lot here. Spon gains a free position as well.
I think Molodan made a mistake. That's the only explanation why Dautartas was so much faster and was trying for an overtake, just not to lose too much time. But that actually ended up in even a worse scenario, as Senderski clipped the wall quite badly from the looks of it. He's still behind Dautartas here in this battle for P10 overall. This is not a battle for position in class. Senderski is a Pro Plus driver, and he was definitely fast in the qualifying session. It didn't go so well on the first lap, and who's Kovalevsky losing positions? Did he lose a position? Spon is already in front, Molodan is already in front, so small mistakes can cost quite a lot of track positions here, especially as the cars are running so close, and there's a
Tried to go to the inside, tap on the wall, and now he gives up that position to Senderski as well, who goes to the inside and gets the move done even before the corner. Patience, you've got to have patience, and again, tried to make a move in a spot where it's just not smart to make a move unless you've got it lined up. So using more spots, so out of the top 10 now even. He was running in 6th just a lap ago.
This is a battle for P16 between Heisenberger and Milashauskas. Heisenberger did a very slow lap actually, lap 7. Both of the cars were off the pace, 2 minutes 16.9 for Heisenberg, and Milashauskas was 1.5 seconds faster, so we definitely had some sort of issues with the drivers. Oh, Dautartas lost even more, and whom have we lost? So Senderski is losing quite a lot of time. Something happened between Dautartas and Senderski, because Dautartas suddenly is 4 seconds behind Kovalevsky. I think he might have a damaged car maybe from those love taps into the wall. It doesn't look too bad from the outside.
I would guess more that he's gotten frustrated and he's trying more desperate moves and, well, just losing time. And Spon, well, he should be looking at somehow getting past Molodan, because then there is a pretty good opportunity at getting P2 in the Pro-Ams. No chance at P1 in the Pro-Ams, that is for sure, as Kravchuk is sitting comfortably in P4. Mendelis has actually closed the gap on Kashoni. That's now down to a second, so something to watch out for in the next few laps. If Mendelis can keep reducing that gap further, he's been reducing it for the last 4 laps. Pretty... Well, Mendelis has been consistent. Kashoni has clearly not been. As Gubrev's another fastest lap of the race for him. Huge gap up in front.
Cars are getting lighter, maybe the balance is changing a little bit. The setups are fixed in this championships. Just a couple of adjustments to the cars, not very meaningful ones, are allowed for the drivers. So maybe Mendelis is a little bit more comfortable with the changed balance of the car, what they had from the race start, but at this moment he's looking better, but he's not looking too good to make an overtake count. We've seen how difficult it is to make a move, and it's actually easier to make a mistake while making an overtake attempt. So Kravchuk, even though this will not be a battle for position in class, he might be cautious to take that P2 overall if these two decide to go into a bigger battle. So he just needs to stay as close to both of the cars in front of him as possible. As Matas Mendelis is definitely looking... Oh, and Khashoggi just made a small mistake. Matas Mendelis had to ease off the throttle to avoid contact. No place to overtake, but it looks like Khashoggi struggled here. Maybe he has problems with the tires, overheating, or maybe other issues, but he suddenly seems to go quite much slower. Look at the gap between Kravchuk and Mendelis. It also started to come down as soon as Matas Mendelis almost pushing Khashoggi around the outside. He has nowhere to go. He needs to find a spot to overtake. If he feels a bit stronger than the car in front, this is a battle for P2 plus class, which suddenly got a very nice shape. Look at the gap between Gubarevs and Khashoggi. Wow, this is a really huge pace difference here now during the race.
Yep, well, it was big in qualifying. Well, he's completely lost that pace advantage. Mendelis a little bit squirmy on the brakes down into turn one, getting close to that outside wall. Kravchuk behind, just staying calm. Doesn't need to do anything crazy, that's for sure. Mendelis just might be a tiny bit too far away. Khashoggi goes to the inside, tries to break the slipstream, but the slipstream effect not that huge, and definitely not big enough to have any impact at 4/10 of a second.
Did Mendelis clip the wall? Well, sometimes you see the graphics glitch, as you could see and notice Matas Mendelis' mirrors being dragged through the wall, but on the exit of that last corner, I think Mendelis just clipped the wall a bit, and wow! Khashoggi going so slow, Matas Mendelis just kissing the back of his Porsche Cup car. Look at Kravchuk, he's getting closer and closer with every battle of the two in front, and that's gonna be a three-car battle towards the end of this race. Less than 5 minutes on the clock. You still need to finish this race, but it looks like Khashoggi is definitely not feeling very nice here at this stage of the race, though he defensive lines shouldn't be too hard for him to stay defensive. What do we have here? I think we have mostly 4 laps. Matas Mendelis again clipping the wall. The car bounced off the barriers, but I think it's still good enough of a hit for the Assetto Corsa platform. A lot of damage.
We should have 2 to go now.
Heisenberger drive-through penalty from race direction.
Yep, and yep, it will be just 2 laps to go. So Mendelis, I think he can actually make a move down the front stretch here, and there's not much that Khashoggi can do. He can just hold tight as Mendelis goes to the outside. Does he have enough overspeed to get the move done down into turn 1? Not really, but they'll stay side by side. Gets close to the wall, still on the outside, Mendelis, and he, well, has to outbrake Khashoggi somehow, and almost does. A little bit wide in contact between both of them, but both of them survive. More side to side for Khashoggi, for Mendelis, so definitely Mendelis coming worse off from that, but can he do it into this braking zone? Stays on the outside once again. This is going to be a chance for Kravchuk to do something. He's going to go to the inside.
Oh,
can't really
Khashoggi
do anything, but big outbreaking himself is Kashoni, and well, no, holds on against Kravchuk. Kravchuk not really trying to get into too much of a fight. He knows it won't really net him anything. Actually, he would come out worse if he finishes in P3. He's already got 5 from last round. He doesn't need more. He'd rather stay in 4th. That changes nothing for his championship hopes. But it does help him out with having less. So I think he'll just try and stay behind.
That's what he needs to do. He is
actually for Kashoni. I mean, if he can't get close enough, probably makes sense to let Kravchuk go and not get any weight on his car, because it doesn't affect him in the standings either.
This is nice strategic thinking of you. I wonder if the drivers have the same information in their minds. They don't have race engineers to help them out, figure out situations like these. But, well, you've got those brilliant points here during this race.
Oh, into the wall.
That's not how you...
But lucky that Assetto Corsa doesn't punish you too much for those.
Yep.
So we'll see if we have an interesting scenario come the end of the next lap where none of the drivers will want to finish in third. I think Menderes will be happy to finish second, even if he gets that weight penalty.
Yeah, definitely finish second in your class and overall, but when you're in position like Johnny and Kravchuk, fighting for P3 overall but not being in the same class, both drivers can be a bit more strategic here, thinking about the future.
Big smack. And let's see what Kravchuk does here. Will he try and get that position? He goes to the outside, but doesn't look like he's too committed. Maybe he is. Well, goes side by side into the braking zone, but brakes earlier. Nope, still fighting, so still going side by side, but not being super aggressive. Oh, as I say that, tried to go to the inside. But, yeah, he doesn't... There's no point in him doing anything. If he overtakes, he's worse off if he tries to make that move.
Yep, and Kajoni definitely struggling. Kravchuk also making mistakes. We have a small battle on the racetrack for the second position in the Pro M class. Spon was quite much closer to the back end of Torciali. I think he also did not avoid a mistake here somewhere in this lap. But that's a battle for position in class. Torciali holding on to P2 as strong as he can. While Kravchuk still remains behind Kajoni. Maybe he's being a bit more strategic. Zhuka's drive-through penalty from race direction.
It's on the final lap. That's very unfortunate. That's gonna... Oh, he's 14th, so he's actually going to get pushed down quite a lot.
He was fourth. He was fourth in the Cup M class, so he will lose a couple of places, definitely.
So, as we were looking at these, Gubrevs is coming to the line, and he's already celebrating. Well, that was the definition of domination, 12 seconds ahead of everyone. And Gubrevs takes the win, and, well, nobody really challenged him. Mendeles is going to finish second, but let's see what Kashoni does. Will he back out of this?
Nope.
He doesn't stays in the throttle. I would have expected him to just back out of it. Well, lost the brakes maybe. And Torciali will come home in 6th, I believe, to take second. Spon will come home in 7th. Moldan in 8th spot. We've seen somebody get out of the race already. Sendersky takes the checker flag, P9, but an unfortunate race after that early race incident for him. And Sarma in 11th, I believe. Let's just wait for everybody to cross the line, and we should get... Actually, we should be having the correct positions already, because we don't really have any cars that were lapped. But still, yeah, position changes as they cross the line for some of them. So, yeah, let's just wait for everybody to do so. And Zhukas will be the next one, and he's got that penalty for him. Well, it converts to a 1-minute penalty, and that's going to push him down in the Pro-Am class. Well, that's going to push him down to last, essentially. As we have a look at the standings, Gubrevs, Mendeles, Kashoni, it's an all-pro top three. And then Kravchuk takes the win in Pro-Am ahead of Balevicius in the Am car. And then it's Tarchali, Spawn, Moldan in 6th, 7th, and 8th. So the winners of Pro-Am and Am in 4th and 5th. The Pro-Am podium was rounded out by Tarchali and Spawn. And then if we look down at the AMs, Milashauskas in 12th and 13th for Ojunas are your next two podium spots in AM. Sendersky finished 9th, a decent enough recovery for him, and Dotatas finished in 10th overall and 4th in his class. So in 2 weeks' time, we head to Southern California and the Long Beach Street Circuit. That one is special. It's a really, really special racetrack with a lot of history to it as well. So be sure to tune in or join the race yourself. Head on over to WorldSimSeries.com and sign up for the Porsche Street Cup. But we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Good night.
Good evening, everyone.